ba'd. Before we begin, brothers and sisters, a request for dua. Multiple requests have been sent for shifa for community members in the family. So please make dua for all of them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone shifa, inshaAllah. And whoever is going through whatever type of illness in whichever part of the world, Allah Azza wa Jal grant shifa to all of them. أذهب البأس رب الناس واشف أنت شافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك شفاء لا يغادر سقما نسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيهم نسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيهم نسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيهم آمين يا رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal, we covered the 25th juz of the Holy Quran. Now, starting from the 24th juz, there are special surahs that Allah Azza wa Jal has introduced us with. And these are called Al-Hawamim al-Sabah, the 7 Hamims. They start from Hamim Ghafir, Hamim al-Fussilat, Hamim al-Shura, and then Hamim al-Zukhruf, Hamim al-Dukhan, Hamim al-Jathiyah, and Hamim al-Ahqaf. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that if you want to know what the Quran is talking about in a nutshell, read these surahs. They are the lubab of Quran, thamaratul Quran. In a nutshell, if you want to know what Allah is talking about in His entire book, these are the surahs that you should read. And Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu says that when you would like to graze in the gardens of paradise, when you want to see how you would be grazing in the gardens of paradise, and which actions you want to adapt in this dunya so that it can take you to paradise, these are the surahs that you should read. The 7 Hamims. And the revelation sequence as well as the Mus'haf sequence, they both synchronize here because they were revealed one after another as it is located in the Quran, in the Tartib, in the Mus'haf. Now in the 25th juz, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Shura, after that Surah Al-Zukhruf, Surah Al-Dukhan, and Surah Al-Jathiyah. These are the 4 surah from the Hawamim that are located in the 25th juz of the Holy Quran. Now, of course, to go over each surah with its detail, it's a very dedication and a time that a person should take out. But in a nutshell, we are going to talk about just the deliverance of this surah. In Surah Al-Shura, Allah Azza wa Jal has given 2 systems. The first system is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought this understanding that whatever religion Allah has given to you, this is the path of success. And this is the same religion that was given to those who came in the past, and that when they followed, Allah Azza wa Jal grant them success. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the importance of things that Allah Azza wa Jal does for people in this dunya. وهو الذي ينزل الغيث من بعد ما قنطوا وينشر رحمته. That when people lose hope, Allah brings hope. When people are going through difficult times, Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to assist. And then Allah, it's one of the very beautiful ayah of this surah. Allah talks about that a person's fear in this dunya is that to have a little bit of the worldly affairs when he's going through the worldly challenges of this dunya. And sometimes a person thinks that why doesn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He gives to others, why doesn't He give it to me also? This person, Allah is giving him, Allah is giving him, Allah is giving him. But what about me? What did I do wrong? Allah says, وَلَوْ بَسَطَ اللَّهُ الرِّزْقَ لِعِبَادِهِ لَبَغَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَكِنْ يُنَزِّلُ بِقَدَرٍ مَا يَشَاءُ. That if Allah was to give everything to you the first day you were born in this dunya, then there will be no struggles of life. You will not value. Just the example that we have, things that we inherit or we get. without any effort, we lose the value of it. But when we make an effort behind it and we receive it, then we value it. Your dad gives you something, yeah, even if it's a very expensive thing, but you have no value. And there is something that you actually earned, and you went and you got it by your own efforts, by your own sacrifice. It might be insignificant, but it's a very valuable thing in your life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah talks about that in this world, in what capacity, what understanding you're supposed to be living in. And for the bonding of the entire universe and the community at large, Allah Azza wa Jal has brought a system of shura, consultation. What is the purpose of consultation? The purpose of consultation is to unite the hearts. When you وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ, this is the order that was given to the Prophet ﷺ, that make sure you involve the companions, involve the Sahaba in the matters that is in front of you. So this is the system that Allah Azza wa Jal has created, and Allah has put barakah in it. And Allah is telling us to follow that system if you want to bring barakah in your life. Moving on to Surah Al-Zukhruf, in this surah, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about that if we didn't have fear that those who have Allah has given deen, they will deviate from the path. We will give to those people who don't believe in Allah to an extent that you cannot imagine, that the staircase and the houses, everything made out of gold. We could have given them all. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the reason why didn't we give them, because we were the people who are living on the earth and obeying the commands of Allah Azza wa Jal. What they are going to do, they're going to run after that. That people with disobedience have more comfort than those who have obedience in their life. And then Allah Azza wa Jal says, this deception, where does it come from? وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, those people who live their life away from the remembrance of Rahman, the one who is merciful. When you don't understand the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, remember, when Allah gives, there is a rahmah of Allah involved in it. And when Allah doesn't give, there is a rahmah of Allah involved in it. We understand the rahmah when it's coming, but unfortunately we lack to understand the rahmah when it's not there. Right? So Allah says in both scenarios, Allah is Rahman. In both situations, He is Rahman. So those people who don't live that life of Rahman, with the remembrance of Rahman, نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. Then eventually there is a shaitan that is appointed as his friend. And what does this shaitan do? فَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ الْحَقِّ. It deviates them from the right path. Now what is the right path? Is to work for akhirah. Right? In Surah Al-Dukhan, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about فَمَا بَكَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّمَاءُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَا كَانُوا مُنذِرِينَ. Those people who lived their life against the obedience of Allah, there were no one to care about them. No one to care about them. Even though in their time they were thinking that they are mighty and powerful. But reality, no. People don't even want to mention their names. People don't even want to remember them. Why? Because they lived a life against the orders of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then in Jathiyah, Allah says, prepare for akhirah. On the day of judgment. وَتَرَى كُلَّ أُمَّةٍ جَاثِيَةٍ كُلُّ أُمَّةٍ تُدْعَى إِلَى كِتَابِهَا. That book of deed, that you have to make sure that when you go from this world and when you're standing in front of Allah Azza wa Jal, your book of deed is right. And on that day of judgment, everyone will be kneeling in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And everyone will be called upon their book. الْيَوْمَ تُجْزَوْنَ مَا كُنْتُمْ. Allah says, today you will be given compensation of what you have done. So live that life moving on to worrying about akhirah and preparing for that akhirah. So this is why this surah has been mentioned, that if you want to understand what life you should spend to get to Jannah, these are the surahs to recite. We ask Allah to grant us the understanding. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the proper belief in the kitab of Allah Azza wa Jal. And we ask Allah to give us the ability to practice on the kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا